Welcome to ACC Student News, the news students can use. I'm Sasha.
And I'm Aiden. Here are this week's stories.
Chinese hackers have reportedly breached the phones of former President Donald Trump and several other high-profile individuals. The cyber attacks, which are believed to have been carried out over the past few months, have raised significant concerns about national security and privacy. Sensitive information, including communications and personal data, may have been compromised. U.S. intelligence agencies are currently investigating the extent of the breach and working to secure affected devices. This incident shows the growing threat of cyber espionage and measures to protect against such sophisticated attacks. The White House has yet to comment on the situation, but officials are urging vigilance and caution.
The beverage giant PepsiCo has plans to close 4 U.S. bottling plants and lay off nearly 400 workers. The company said the closures will impact 136 workers in Cincinnati, 131 workers in Chicago, 127 in Pennsylvania, and fewer than 50 in Atlanta. PepsiCo confirmed that the Chicago plant is the only plant that will fully close, and while sales, delivery, and warehouse functions will continue at the other locations. The closures come as the company lowered its sales forecast for the year as consumers in the U.S., China, and elsewhere are pulling back on buying its drinks and snacks after years of price hikes. PepsiCo's net income fell 5% in the July through September period.
After 58 years of service, Zell's is closing down their flagship location in East Chicago. The restaurant would feed hungry steelworkers beef sandwiches. The owner has stated that the original location in East Chicago became old and too expensive to maintain, so they chose to close it down. Residents of that area are saddened by this, and they felt it was part of their community, and many had a deep connection to the restaurant. Some even going as far to say it felt like losing a family member. The Hammond and Crown Point locations will still be open.
A man has been arrested in connection with theft of cheese valued at over $300,000. This incident unfolded yesterday in the United Kingdom, where authorities discovered that large quantities of cheese were disappearing from storage facility over several months. After an extensive investigation, police captured the suspect who was found to have orchestrated the thefts by exploiting access to the facility, using a fraudulent account to acquire the stolen cheese, which included premium varieties. The arrest has brought relief to local dairy producers who are suffering significant losses. Authorities are now working to recover the stolen goods and ensure that similar incidents do not occur in the future.
Severe flooding in Spain has wreaked havoc across multiple regions, causing widespread damage and disruption. Violent rains have led to swollen rivers and flash floods, inundate homes, businesses, and infrastructures. Emergency services are working tirelessly to rescue stranded residents and provide aid to those affected. The hardest hit areas include Valencia and Murcia, where entire neighborhoods are submerged. The devastating floods have claimed the lives of over 200 people. Authorities have issued warnings for more rain in the coming days, urging residents to stay indoors and avoid unnecessarily travel. The Spanish government is coordinating relief efforts and assessing the damage to determine the next steps for recovery. The situation remains critical as communities brace for further challenges.
A foster mother in Porter County, Indiana, has pleaded guilty in the connection with the death of a 10-year-old boy. Jennifer Wilson, who was charged with reckless homicide, is accused of causing the death of the boy, identified as Stevens, by sitting on him for several minutes in her front yard. Stevens was taken to South Bend Hospital, where he died 2 days later. Wilson initially pleaded not guilty and was arrested in Southwest Michigan after a warrant was issued in July. Prosecutors allege that multiple videos recorded by neighbors show Wilson lying on Stevens, who did not move during the footage. One video captures her denying to get off the kid after asking her child to call 911. Stevens, who had been in foster care after being born to parents struggling with addiction, had reportedly asked a neighbor to adopt him just 30 minutes before the incident. The coroner ruled his death a result of mechanical asphyxia due to reckless homicide.
An inspiring story from the animal kingdom, a penguin named Lucas has undergone life-changing surgery. Residing at the San Diego Zoo, Lucas suffered from a debilitating foot condition that made it difficult for him to walk. Veterinarians performed a groundbreaking procedure to correct his foot deformity, using innovative techniques and custom-made orthopedic shoes to aid his recovery. The surgery has been a success, and Lucas is now able to waddle around comfortably, much to the delight of zoo visitors and staff. This remarkable medical achievement not only improves Lucas' quality of life, but also offers hope for other animals facing similar challenges. The team at the San Diego Zoo continues to monitor his progress, celebrating each step forward in his journey to full health.
That's all we have for this half of ACC Student News.
Stay tuned for more news.
When I first came to the ACC, I'd say that welding really did stick out in particular because it was the main program that the ACC did, the headliner almost, and I wanted to be a part of that.
I chose welding because at first I saw one of I think my uncles do it, and it looked really cool. It was really satisfying. More than that, I just like how it is. It's cool, nice, relaxing.
What I've learned here in the first few months is that don't be worried that you're not getting it immediately. You will get it eventually. That's what I did, and some of the stuff that we have learned is how to power up the arc torches and use stick rods, which are the small rods that we would say light and use to weld plates that we've been doing so far.
The main thing I enjoy from this class is making the friends and just having a good time while also welding and all that. It's really fun. It's just a fun class. The teacher's really cool too.
What I've enjoyed is really just atmosphere, because it's a friendly atmosphere. The teachers are easy to talk to and they'll help you if you really need help. And just the fact that I love it here. It's a machine shop. It's something I don't get to do often, and I really think that's great.
Welcome back to ACC Student News. I'm Ivy.
And I'm Mike. Here are some more stories.
A Chinese student at the University of Michigan is facing criminal charges for voting as an U.S. citizen and is facing 2 crimes. The 19-year-old from China, who is legally present in the U.S. but is not a citizen registered to vote, using his University of Michigan student ID and other documents showing residency in Ann Arbor. The ballot was cast at an early voting site. Later, the student contacted the local clerk's office asking if he could somehow get his ballot back. According to the Detroit News, the students' ballot is expected to count in the upcoming election because there is no way to retrieve it once it's been put through the tabulator. They have not released the identity of the student.
An Indianapolis man who was accused of killing 5 of his family members was convicted on Friday. After a 5-day trial, Raymond Charles III was found guilty. He's being sentenced for 6 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, and 1 count of carrying a handgun without a license. This is the second time Mr. Childs has been tried. Now the first time he was tried, the court decided a mistrial. Upon further investigation, police learned the shooting was a result of an argument between him and his family.
For the first time since 2011, Japan's nuclear reactor is finally restarting after one of the most devastating atomic energy disasters in history. Back in March of 2011 in Fukushima, Japan, the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant was majorly destroyed by the most powerful earthquake Japan has ever encountered, the 4th most powerful earthquake in history overall, which also caused a tsunami a few minutes later. People of Japan have been pushing for something to be done about the nuclear plants since 2022. With the restart of the power plant this Tuesday, their heavily fossil fuel dependent country should meet growing energy demands and cut carbon emissions. However, Japan was set back when the most powerful earthquake in this decade hit that killed 400 people, reminded them of all their fears as another one of Japan's nuclear power plants was destroyed. Though this is what truly opened the country's eyes and made them stand up to do something about this growing problem. Within the next 5 months, Japan is set to release a revised energy plan that will save their future.
Last week, an Arizona man by the name of Joseph Hill Jr. stuffed his dad in a backyard freezer and left it there for 3 years. As he continued cashing the old man's Social Security checks, the police department said that it was tipped off October 22nd that there might be a dead body in 51-year-old Joseph's yard. Eventually, police secured a search warrant and police found the man wrapped in blankets and duct tape as police found the skeletal remains of the body. Hill finally came clean and told police that he bought the fridge after his dad died 4 years later. He claimed he was scared of losing the house his dad lived in since the 60s. He claimed his dad was frail and could barely walk, so when he died, Hill crammed his dead dad's body into a freezer and left it, as well as cashing his dad's Social Security checks every month until March. Hill was charged with concealing a body and failure to report. Police say more charges are to come.
North Korea launches their first test in almost a year of intercontinental ballistic missiles designed to reach the United States. The missile was launched Wednesday morning, traveling over 600 miles with a max altitude of 4,350 miles. It had the longest flight time for a North Korean missile at 86 minutes. United States National Security Council spokesperson Sean Savit called it a violation of many UN resolutions, calling it an unnecessary rise of tensions. The United States and South Korea responded to the incident with a large-scale joint air military exercise. South Korea's intelligence agency also told American officials Wednesday that North Korea is close to test firing a missile that is capable of reaching the United States and likely has finished preparations for its next test. Wednesday's test was similar to a prior test in December of last year, in which the tested missile was also predicted to be capable of reaching the United States.
Hezbollah's new leader was announced on Tuesday during a televised speech. Naim Qassem, an old cleric, vows to continue the policies until victory is achieved. The old leader was killed in an Israel airstrike in Lebanon. The new leader, Qassem, is not a surprise as he's been Hassan's deputy for 32 years and public face for the organization. Qassem's appointment to head of Hezbollah is proof that it is not being run by Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, as some have suggested.
That's all the stories we have for this week.
Make sure to check out the rest of our videos on YouTube.
And follow us on Instagram at ACCtv Hammond.